What's going on, guys? I'm Chris Colosi, DeBrahma Bull on DraftKings, and welcome to Week 13 of the Catch-Up. I had another terrible week, guys. I've shipped all my players off to the CFL. That's right, my team had no heart this week. That's right, the whistle blew and they just laid down and died like animals. Quarterbacks. Your bargain basement guys gave you the most bang for your buck last week. Ryan Fitzpatrick put up 6 touchdowns and over 42 fantasy points. I didn't think I'd ever say the name Ryan Fitzpatrick on my show for a positive reason. Fitzpatrick was $5,400 and only 1.5% owned, which goes to show you, on any given Sunday, someone can rise from fantasy obscurity and put up a monster. And he wasn't the only one. 2 other cheapies in Phillip Rivers and Colt McCoy put up over 30 fantasy points, leaving you plenty of cap room to fill the rest of your team. There were 2 guys that had, "Oh, no, what are you doing?" games, followed by, "Oh, okay, keep doing what you're doing" games. Both Andrew Luck and Ben Roethlisberger started games with fumbles and interceptions and all kinds of mistakes, but then finished with high-scoring, huge games. But Andy Dalton was gross, Eli was gross, Tom Brady didn't exactly kill it at his price point, and Peyton Manning was very under-impressive, throwing only 2 touchdowns. Running backs. Le'Veon Bell crushed it again, scoring over 42 fantasy points, but that's no shocker. He's like the number 2 leading rusher this season. But a cheap guy like Trey Mason scoring Trey touchdowns was a real nice treat. Apparently not an unexpected one though, since 34% of us owned him. Once again, CJ Anderson killed it. Mr. Anderson. He had another big day carrying the ball. Is it possible the Broncos are a running team now? Hope not. Denard Robinson was awful. The Giants are supposed to have like the worst D against the run. But I guess when the worst team against the run faces the worst team at everything football, something's gotta give. Also, Matt Asiata has been cut out of my life forever. I gave him a chance and he blew it. Like, I thought I had a good team. You know how you look at your team and you go, "Oh yeah, that's right, boys. Loving this lineup. Watch out for me this week." And then you get to sit back and watch Robinson and Asiata get stifled for 4 quarters. Andre Ellington was 20% owned and he went for 12 yards. He left the game with an injury, and injuries happen. I understand that, but 12 yards? 12 yards. I'm telling you, performances like that are aging me. And by week 17 of the catch-up, I'm going to be like, "Hey, what's going on, guys? And welcome to week 17 of the catch-up. I remember week 12 like it was yesterday." Wide receiver. DeAndre Hopkins ate his Wheaties, and pretty much everyone in the locker room who was eating Wheaties, he ate their Wheaties too. He scored over 47 fantasy points. He went for 238 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's just superhuman. Keenan Allen had a monster game going for 38 points. Phillip Rivers is throwing him the ball. We've all watched Phillip Rivers, right? We've all been underimpressed? Yeah, makes my point. Don't expect that to happen again. Dante Moncrief got in the way of T.Y. Hilton this weekend, which is great for him, but I didn't have him. You don't spell Moncrief Hilton, so thanks a lot, guy. AJ Green underperformed. I now hate him. Steve Smith, 1 yard. I hate him. Sammy Watkins, 11 yards. 2 ones. Better than Steve Smith. Martavis Bryant was 23% owned and caught 1 ball. 1 ball. Hell, put me in some pads and let me run around out there. I'll catch more than 1 ball. Okay, well, I'd probably catch no balls. But the point is he should have caught more than 1 ball. Tight ends. Colby Fleener answered my call from last week and put up a huge game. But I'm a stickler. It could have been bigger. Now, if you weren't watching live, you might have missed it, but Colby Fleener dropped a wide open 50-yard touchdown pass. It's as if he could not believe he was that wide open and just forgot how to play football. Like he ran down the field, "I'm a football player, I'm a football player, I'm a football player. Oh wait, no, I'm a hockey player." Oh. I don't care that he had the best game. Every point counts. Jordan Reed had a good game for the Skins, posting 24 points. It's rare that you get to say anything positive about the Skins, so way to go, Jordan Reed. With the exception of those 2 guys, the tight ends were pretty weak this weekend. I mean, Gronk made it into the top 5, but at that price point, you gotta get me more points, dude. Whew. Defense. It seems like every single defense in the NFL was scoring touchdowns this weekend. Offenses were just giving them away. The Rams blanked the Raiders and scored a TD. The Vikings scored 2 TDs on 2 block punts. Who blocks 2 punts in a game? Who blocks 2 punts in a game and runs both punts back for touchdowns? The Jaguars had 2 defensive touchdowns. The Jaguars. Bills got 1, the Seahawks got 1, the Colts got 1. I'm sure there are other teams that got 1 that I'm not remembering right now, but it just makes my head hurt. Defenses came to play in week 13, or the offenses came to suck in week 13. Either way, there were a lot of defensive touchdowns. In fact, it was harder to pick a defense that didn't score a touchdown than it was to pick one that did. I accomplished that, and I'm proud. I'm telling you guys, defense wins games. Fantasy games too. Now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, Try Again. And the envelope, please. I don't always have a pretty girl to hand it to me, so we'll just take a look and HUD, oh man, HUD underscore fantasy underscore king. I almost didn't pick this one just because I didn't want to write it in the thing. Your name annoys me, but that's okay. We got the Saints D, Jason Avant, Andre Caldwell, John Kuhn, and James Stark. Okay, you gotta stop. You guys have to stop with the both running back thing. You don't have to get all the running backs that are on the team. That's never a strategy that works out. Andy Dalton, like I said, he was terrible. Travis Kelce. So yeah, HUD underscore fantasy underscore king. Go ahead and check your account, courtesy of DraftKings and the Catch Up. We went ahead and put a millionaire ticket into your account for the next week's millionaire tournament. Try again. So that's my show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week right here on the Catch Up.